FPS, which is also the first batch of supported devices, offering esports level performance and visually stunning experiences in the PMWC 2024. We are going to be heading into the first of two Miramars. That is our terminal destination for the survival stage.
Oh, final two matches, folks. Let's see what these teams are made of. I want to see that clutch factor, because if we're going to see 4 teams make it to the finals, there's some monster squads there, okay? I want to see teams give it everything that they have, and there's still plenty of teams that have a chance here, but they got to go crazy here. They don't need just a good match. They need an insane match right here, right now. Let's see if they can do it.
I feel like it is always Miramar, though, where we see those insane matches.
That's true.
Maybe it's because we put it at the end of the days now more frequently, or maybe it's something that just happens in this open terrain. I feel like teams can establish more control, be a little bit more ballsy with those peaks sometimes on this sort of a map. The question is, where does the circle take us? Because it can completely change the dynamics, as it can with everyone.
Oh,
I feel like that's kind of
North Circle!
But we're going up north this time around. That puts a lot of treachery around the area between Minas Generalis and San Martin. Junkyard, Hacienda, in that sort of death triangle there. That's always a difficult place to rotate. It looks like IWNRX have already taken a knock there.
Yeah, but this is a beautiful, beautiful zone. So many of these squads would prefer a northern Miramar zone as opposed to the south, because the terrain isn't as treacherous as it is down south. So it's a little bit easier to rotate on, but there's a lot of open areas here. So I think we're going to see some teams try to get on the road a little bit sooner than later and try to secure some of those central positions, because that they need it. They really, really, really do. And honestly, I wouldn't even mind seeing a little bit of edge play from certain squads. And honestly, it's going to be a lot of these teams. I would say, man, even Team Falcons on down. Like, they need to start just tearing up teams and soaking up some eliminations if we want to see them in the finals.
Absolutely. It is on everyone, really, to push on up. There is the big drop-off that sits, well, I suppose it's not really a big drop-off anymore, but brute force down to Falcons, that's 62 points down to 55. That 7-point difference is getting more and more honest, right? Because, you know, oh, it's just 7 points, oh, whatever. It's more than 10% of a team's total score. Ooh. It's so hard to get 7 points out of a match, unless you're given one of those central positions, unless you're able to fight through pretty crazily. It doesn't happen that often. I mean, you're looking at a pretty unlikely turn of events to be able to not only get those points, but also for the teams ahead of you not to get those points. It is a lot tougher than it looks to mount those tables. And D+ Kia just gonna have a long way to go to be able to not only get into the circle, but jump up over TJB. The tiebreaker right now for CAG Osaka, D+ Kia goes the way of CAG Osaka.
Nice.
And it's just so brutal.
It's so close. It's so close. Yeah, to get 7 points is tough. If you look at right now the average, we played 10 games so far. So the only teams that have had 7 eliminations on average every game is TJB on up, right? Plus. So, I mean, it just goes to show you how difficult it is. So in order to get a crazy game and hopefully see a shot at making it in the finals, and I'm looking at, I'm gonna be real, Mad Bulls on up, right? Mad Bulls, Team Falcons, all those 2 squads especially, we need to see a winning game right here, right now from them.
I mean, basically the entirety of the lobby is under so much pressure at this stage.
I'm going to call it, though, for a lot of these teams.
Oh, you're going to call it?
Yeah, the last game it was possible. The last game it was possible, but after not seeing the performance that I need to see from a lot of these squads, I'm going to call 10th place on down. There's just no chance.
Whoa, okay. That's pretty bold. I mean, kind of fair enough, though. Like, the bubble's already at 71. Jumping up there, it just doesn't happen, does it? It just doesn't.
It was possible. They needed to win every game, though, right? And since they didn't win that last one, it's just, it is what it is at this point. The last game is going to be so chaotic because, you know, you're going to see some teams at the top do some crazy stuff. All these teams at the bottom are going to know that they have absolutely no chance. So some of these guys are really bummed out. They just start pushing some teams kind of, you know, recklessly. And, or even sometimes we see some bottom teams go crazy because now there's no more pressure on them. So, yeah, the last game of the day, guys, you definitely want to make sure you're tuned in because it's going to be absolute chaos.
Only 2 more matches, and I feel like it has been a tournament full of unexpected results across the board, not only here in the survival stage, but also back over in the group stage so far, which to me reads there's going to be an interesting final. So not only is this survival stage going to be great, but yeah, it is going to be riveting stuff in the coming week after we've selected the top 4 teams from this lobby, because we're only taking 4 of them. Key crushing ceremony still there to come as well.
Yeah, these teams need to know what to do here. And one thing I want to see is a mix-up in strategies. Like, I will give teams way more props if they just go nuts right now. Like, even if you see a team like Pandem or Harami Bro just start pushing everybody, and if they say they take out one team and go out on the next, I will be so proud of them, because guess what? They gave it a shot, right? They're not just playing passive, because right now, even if they got a chicken dinner with 2 eliminations, what's the point, right? There's just still not going to be able to make it into the finals. So if they want to have a shot and a miracle run, they need a record game here. And you got to go for it, right? Might as well. What do you have to lose?
I mean, speaking of records, let's remember Alliance's performance back in the group stages. On 12 match, they put up 122 points, right? And that puts it into perspective just how bloody good Alliance were in those group stages. When you look at what IWNRX currently sit on, they're over 20 points behind where they were with 2 matches to play. So IWNRX also, if they want to break that record, they need to start pushing some stuff, maybe change some stuff up. They can rest on their laurels somewhat, but oh, what's this? It looks like DRX not only having lost a player, but they've been taken down to a second as well.
No way. This is horrible for DRX, because even though they're in second place, there's still a lot of teams that can catch them. They cannot afford to go out right now. And if you're Besiktas Black, you have to push this. Like, you have no choice.
You might as well. It's going to be the best chance you're going to get. So there goes the pickup into the vehicle, and they fall back through, repositioning the players away. They weren't quite fast enough for Besiktas Black. They are very split right now, but and I don't think that they wanted to go for a 2-player push against 2. You don't really want to take those 2v2 fights.
No, this is dumb. Like, honestly, you have to. You have no choice. You have 41 points. Just push. Just push. Try to get the eliminations. If you get 4 now, great. Then you could possibly make something happen. You have no time to be playing this. If this was day 1, match 2, then yeah, I wouldn't be talking like this. But this is a different game you're playing now. I don't even know what Besiktas Black is doing. When I see stuff like this, it absolutely infuriates me. I'm counting them out already, just for them just not playing the game that they're supposed to, right?
I mean, they are down in 13th, 41 points. They sit 30 points behind the bubble on TJB right now. They're pretty central in the circle, though. And I feel like, yeah, sure, they probably should have gone for that push and a little bit more aggression, but they just weren't in the position to do so. So it's not really that they didn't go for the push that bothers me. It's that they weren't in a position to go for a push should it present itself. Let's look at this shift, though. This is a hard south shift on the current circle. It's going to push people back down towards San Martin, towards Graveyard on the south edge as well. And again, it's some real trouble.
All right, we're going to see a little bit of a jump out there. Look at that.
Nice.
Buggy doing a little bit of a carnival ride there. Let's see what happened to Kay. What happened to him here?
No, this is not replay.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, that was looking a little interesting, but we're starting to see some rotates happen here. IWNRX. Oh, he's in trouble.
Doesn't go down, though, and I think that's going to be crucial to establish and keep that angle on the sideline. Swain is there as well, hops into the buggy and gets away. With the heal coming through, it looks like IWNRX are going to be safe for now, but on the east side of the circle, they've got a little bit further to go. We're seeing the M24 being pulled out by Kipper Boss. For Rook, the range, powerful with the 8x on the sniper, but it's not going to be too worrisome for IWNRX. They're just going to keep the sprays going over. Kipper can't even hop into this vehicle. It's slow off the mark, which means you jump into it, you know you're getting sprayed down.
Frozen, you could see him just trying to make something happen, but he did give away his position, so we could see a little bit of a reposition from Rook to try to catch this player out, but we're seeing a lot of 1v1s happen here. Interesting play from Rook. Yeah, Rook, you can just see them. I think they're just kind of having fun with it at this point. A little bit too far down the leaderboard to make anything happen. And that's what I like to see, though, right? I mean, hey, might as well. You know that you're mathematically pretty much impossible to make it to top 4. Just push everything you see.
40 points behind right now. The bubble for Rook. And I think you're right. Fairly close to impossible. Mad Bulls do take one of them down as well. Not a full flush just yet, but they will be on 3 active. They'll probably try and reposition for this. Pandem also taking shots from money makers. It's going to get a little bit more tensive from the north side there. Just watching IWNRX keeping things together on the east, and they've actually managed to find an opening with all 4 of their players alive. On the east side of San Martin, towards Hacienda, TJB looks like they currently hold Hacienda del Patron, and Team Spirit on the south edge, DRX out to the east. On quite a wide split for DRX, actually, it has to be said. Rook, they're still just trying to get away with it.
Yes, they are. So yeah, Rook just running around right now, having their way at it. IWNRX though,
Really?
looking to gonna just, you can just tell IWNRX is playing just a little bit loose right now. And you can afford it, right? You can afford it. You're going to the finals. We know it. Everybody knows it. So might as well just kind of have fun with this lobby at this point. But now, these 2 teams, they cannot afford it. And look at that Moneymaker going up against Team Pandem. Biscuit, and that is it, I believe. Yep, Team Pandem out of there.
That is going to be them down 47 points now on the south side of the tables, which is not a favorable position. Generally, I'm defining north as good on the tables.
That's right.
I think that's fair to say. But Team Pandem, 47 points going into final match. It's all but done for them. Moneymakers, however, with a lifeline. Are they going to be able to keep all of themselves alive? It looks like they will do. Shots over towards Team Spirit from TJB. This is the Hacienda clash. Falcons are just out to the east of this as well. Team Spirit do lose a player fully. That is going to go over towards TJB right on that bubble. 72 now as the lead starts to open.
CAG Osaka. Now this is a team right now we got to keep our eyes on. Brute Force as well. Very, very close. Both teams in contention here. Team Spirit losing that player especially, that is going to be it. Yeah, and D plus Kia, a team that really needs those points, are soaking every single one up that they can. Nomi, just kind of driving away, just trying to have some fun with it at this point. DRX though, DRX, yeah, down to a single player. Let's see what he can do, and that is it. He is done for. So that's a big door open for a lot of teams.
80 points is where DRX will finish now in second place. Twisted Minds, 7 points behind. TJB, 8 points behind. D plus Kia, 9 points behind. You're right. There are a lot of teams that can push up on over, and you can see on the leaderboards right now, they are close to being able to do so. At the moment, TJB with Hacienda control. Where are we looking at Twisted Minds? They're out on the east side, and actually with the most danger afoot, with Mad Bulls close by to them. On the north side with Besiktas over to the west edge. You've also got D plus Kia, who we saw take down Team Spirit, well, the majority of Team Spirit on that south side, playing on us 4 with some decent hopes at jumping on in. So DRX not safe by any stretch of the imagination, despite their blinder of a day.
That's for sure. By the way, I got to give massive congratulations to IWNRX for breaking the 3-digit mark. The only team to do so far. That's going to be 100 points for them with that elimination. And let's see what other teams are going to be able to do here. Twisted Minds are still in the mix. CAG Osaka is still in the mix. You got Harami Bro going up against Inko on the other side of the map. And it looks like we may just have a Hacienda del Patron finish here.
I like that. Haven't seen one of them in a while, Dukes. But it's right on the edge. We'll have to see if it does go that way. Inko rolling across the open ground. One hop out there to try and take some shots wide. But Harami Bro gonna have some shots connect onto them from Nenebete, from Inko. Inko still rotating on the south edge. You can see D plus Kia looking to pick up more points here. Chase towards that second place. Try and push DRX out with the opening they've been given. 3 teams now clashing on the south side. Harami Bro down to 2 now. Federalis out in the blue. having to shuffle on forwards. Norbu with the spray towards the player breaking forwards, but not going to connect on this. They might be able to find the res. In the meantime, Inco are healing up ahead of them. Inco have the inside track on this. They're closer to this circle, and it looks like IWNRX, they've sent Frozen down south to see what's going on. He's poking his nose in, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't belong, because he's going to take those points either way.
That's right. He's like, what's going on over here? Oh, some more eliminations. I'll take some of that. D plus Kia, they definitely need them, though. So very heads-up play for them to hear these shots on this side of the map and try to get in the mix. They definitely need to be able to steal some eliminations and finish Inco out sooner rather than later, especially considering that they are not in this next zone.
D+ fighting on two fronts now, and it looks like they're doing pretty well with an assist coming through from IWNRX. Frozen able to give them a little bit more oomph here on the off angle, slowing Arame Bro. They cannot be pushed from the east, and this is excellent stuff coming through from D+ Kia to be able to hold this fight down. But they still have a way to go. The blue is starting to push in, and they are making their way, but past some treacherous terrain.
This is a tough decision for D+ Kia. Right now they need to decide, do we just try to make this push, soak up these eliminations, or go into the next zone and try to find a solid position? And honestly, I always err on the side of position because you can always get those eliminations a little bit later on, but it is the second to last match. You don't know what's going to happen. So I am not shocked at all to see D+ Kia hang out here just a little longer as they get one more player and another major point. Moss trying to haul it on over there. Ooh, the vehicle explodes, and IWNRX steal that point away from the rest of the lobby.
But D+ Kia now 5 eliminations, and an avenue has opened. They could start to move past Inco. They were split 1-1, which is why Nunez didn't go down instantly. They've got Nenobete right in the middle, in the field, playing a resurrection game for Inco to... I mean, there's nothing he can do, to be honest, at this stage for them. He's just seeing what he can get done. Over the top nades for Brute Force, who have got that outside track, over towards the Moneymakers. Shot and shot back. Over the top, they will try and flow, but Chudo is going to fall down, get flushed as well.
There's a big fight right here. Brute Force need this game. They are right on that cusp. They could definitely make it into the top 4. They cannot afford to go out right now. Moneymakers need a miracle run, so they have everything going for them with 5 eliminations so far. But Brute Force need to stop their momentum some way, somehow. Another big fight, though. Oh, look at this. Mad Bulls in the mix with Besiktas.
Northeast side, Besiktas losing Lewis there on the forward position. No one going down in response just yet. Nades are starting to pour in through the doors, though, and it's going to be difficult to hold it down through the corridor. They're going to move 2 and 2. Kikali can't quite get it, but there it is. Catches the ankle as he tries to flee around the door frame. The 2 Hawk players, but the Groves is barking, and it will take one. Look for a second as well. The Besiktas Black trying to slow and stop the Mad Bulls in their ascent.
Twisted Minds
come through the third party, and there's another Groves here to play. The Mad Bulls find more points, but they're only now on 1, and inside the building it might be difficult, but you step out of there and Twisted Minds are here. They're part of the party. 2 players to Besiktas running around trying to hold their invite in their hand, but it is not gonna be so. Mad Bulls hold on with 1, but Twisted Minds want to shut it out.
Obscure gets 1 with that nade, and they need a whole lot more here because we're seeing some great performances from squads right next to them on the leaderboard. D+ Kia with 6 eliminations so far. TJB right behind them with all 4 players up. Twisted Mind need to find a way to get these remaining 2 players of Mad Bulls finished out sooner rather than later. This is not a solid position in the next circle. It could definitely shift away from them, so Twisted Minds need to make a decision. At the same time, the nerves have to be at an all-time high. They know what's at stake.
IWNRX also could be third party onto this engagement. If Twisted Minds pull the trigger, and you can see they're aware of that, which is why they haven't gone for the full out fight just yet. There's 2 Mad Bulls on the inside, and they are angry as anything. You do not want to handle them when you've got IWNRX breathing down your neck.
No, you do not. And now we're going to watch D+ Kia on the push, trying to take out some of these stragglers on the bottom of the leaderboards. Desperately getting these points, and they're getting even more points. DRX, you better watch your back, because D+ Kia are showing up at the right time.
They are starting to build pace, but there's Frozen, and again, this guy has been so much trouble for these teams on the south. Against Rook, against Harame Bro, now against D plus Kier. Nobody is getting away for free.
La da da dee 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 da. That's what he's just kind of singing in his head as he's just, you know, making it happen, just destroying teams' dreams here as IWNRX are just having some fun. And that fun is, unfortunately, just absolute chaos for the rest of this lobby.
Look at where these tables are starting to get eliminated as well. 3rd through 10th, all still alive. People below them, nah, they're done. Rook is as good as out as well. So, well, okay, maybe he's got a little bit more fight in him. Fighting the dog. D plus Kier, though, they're going to be drawn short by it. They're down to 2 players. They've lost 2, and Kier's pretty low. You can't really go for this fight whilst Frozen's watching out for you. Yankee's in the monster trap.
Oh, man, Frozen's like, yeah, shoots him through the window.
One down.
Oh, and Team Falcons get one of those points. They are still in the mix, but Team Falcons are playing this way too passive. They're so far down on the leaderboards, they need a monster game. They're not out of it just yet, but honestly, if they don't finish strong here, they're done for.
IWNRX, one of 3 teams with 4 players alive now on this eastern side. They have been so controlling on this south. There has been a chokehold on it for the longest time. That Mini 14 is making noise. They're going to crash. I mean, they know there's only one here, right? They've got to realize that this is a really easy place to flush out, and they can't make them move forwards, which is what I was going to highlight now, is that they're going to have to get across this road. Team Twisted Minds over on that north side, and the Mad Bulls remnants from the north, going to make that road crossing hard, so if they can have more control over the south, it's going to make this next circle easier.
This is an insane match, folks. Every single one of these teams that are in this lobby desperately need that chicken dinner now. K needs to pull off a miracle because there's so many teams right behind him trying to usurp their spot. Let's see if he can make some magic happen against IWNRX 1v3.
Popping out. Look at her line up the fights with the SK-12 in the yard. Will get put in the dirt by Swain. Sprayed down, and that's D plus Kier done. They are still in 3rd place, but with Twisted Minds still alive, with TJB still alive, it is going to be hard to hold on to their place. It is getting hotter and hotter by the second. Twisted Minds, over on the north side, both teams going to have to leave this compound, Jukes.
Yes, they are, and this is a very unfortunate rotation that they're going to have to make. They're going to have to do it pretty quickly here. They need to make this push. Twisted Minds took a little bit too much time, and since they didn't take that initiative on the Mad Bulls and they hesitated, now they're paying the price for it, and that could be their ticket to the finals because they were in a good position just a little bit earlier ago, but now you got TJB that could pass them up here.
TJB are a little bit on form today, but they've just lost a player. That's going down to everybody's getting shot at by this Mini 14, by IWNRX. This rain of bullets continues, and it is so sweaty coming through from IWNRX. They are forcing other teams to prove themselves now.
Twisted Minds, huge mistake. Now you're gonna have to see a 1v2. Rattle Boy isn't able to get it done. And that opens the door for so many teams remaining. And look at who's left. All squads that could possibly pass them up.
Absolutely, but right now the arbiters of this circle continue to be IWNRX from the east side. They are starting to get pushed further and further towards the edge. There's TJB going down, which is the team chasing Twisted Minds. It's now 75-74 going into that final match for them. But you're right, Brute Force could surpass. You've even got Falcons who definitely could surpass, given the opportunity. If they can jump up, they need another chunk out of this lobby.
They need to shut down IWNRX.
They could do it.
They need to shut down IWNRX, and not because, you know, they have to worry about them on the leaderboards, but because they need all those points. Every single one of these teams, that's Mad Bulls eliminated. Ooh. That one has gotta hurt. Moneymaker's trying to make a desperation play, but now you have Top with that mini trying to make it happen for the hometown squad.
Falcons with the support of the crowd on side. And they're going to need it. 4 players alive. They've got this high ground. And finally, IWNRX's position is going to start to show cracks. Moneymakers can exploit it from the north. The Falcons need to exploit it from across the way because the open ground between them is no man's land.
Pop with another huge shot. They need this circle to go to them, to be honest, because if it goes away, they're going to be in big trouble. You can see them already in the buggies, expecting to make a rotate. As a matter of fact, they are starting to move. Wolf not able to get it done, and here comes Team Falcons, a huge push for them.
They are going to sandwich IWNRX between themselves and Moneymakers on the north side. They've already found that open. Kine has gone down as they flow over the south side of this circle. There's the flush. No more knocks to be found. They're trying to push their way up on the eastern flank. And they are slowing themselves just a little bit further. But Swain finds a nade onto the backlines that slows them down. 2 players from IWNRX in to respond. And Top in danger now, but he wants the contact. But not that much contact. Zedwolf taps the skull.
Zedwolf with that mini all the way from the back lines, just crushing the dreams of Team Falcons. They need to win this fight if we want to see them in the finals. What can Icy do? Icy's in a terrible position. That nade, so huge, gets one, they get another. It's just one more player left. It's Zedwolf for IWNRX. Team Falcons clutching it up just at the right time.
Can the Moneymakers chime into this fight as well? If they time this right, they could also sweep this one away from the north side. But the Falcons are being allowed so much leg room here, Jukes, on to be able to get those reses, to get across, and to be able to pull all 4 of their players alive. There's IWNRX going down, and it is the Moneymakers to do so. 8 eliminations found for them now, and the Falcons got to look to push in because they have to move north.
Team Falcons couldn't have more of a clutch move right here, right now. We're starting to see some old signs of the Falcons of old right here, right now. You can see the smoke starting to come up. They're taking a very central position. These hay bales aren't too safe. They're taking it mighty early. Let's see if that is the right decision.
Brute Force taking casualties heavy. No one's focused on them for a little bit, but now those Mini-14 start to blink away. Havlik eating ankles right now for breakfast. Neo's going to be the last to fall, and that nade goes over, goes high, doesn't quite get past the hay bale. That one's a little bit better. No, not close enough. These bounces, difficult to land. They're right in the mix of it, and I think they're protected by the US and the hay bales on all sides.
You're going to have to thread that needle with that nade. But yeah, Brute Force aren't going anywhere. They do put up a solid match here, but it's not going to be enough to put them into 4th place. It's going to come down to the last final match for them. And it's going to have to be the same thing for Team Falcons, most likely. They need every single elimination left in this lobby. 9 is great, but they need even more than that.
Not a week ago, there was not a world where Falcons were not in the finals, Jukes. And now they are fighting tooth and nail for it. Everything on the line for them. A team that everybody lauded as a potential tournament favorite.
That's right.
And this is the sort of performance that we've been missing from them. Their chase is on. The gauntlet is laid.
Let's see what they can do. Still quite a few players still up. They have the position, they have the zone. All they have to do is execute, but they cannot afford to let any one of these players go out to the blue zone. They need every elimination they can get. Because I said once, I'll say it again. The last game of the day, you never know what's going to happen. It's going to be absolute chaos. You cannot depend on a double-digit elimination chicken dinner towards the last game. So if you're Team Falcons, you need every single one of these.
Waiting. Timing. The most important thing now. One misstep and it's done for. Brute Force have the angle. They're taking the fight. Neos chiming in with a potential brutal pickup and a nade over the top. 2 knocks go over the Falcons and they roll on in. Noah goes down and the Falcons are back. They are into the top 4, but they're not done just yet. With one more match to play, they are making it their mission.
And the crowd goes wild. Are you kidding me? Team Falcons with